Hello everyone, and welcome to the Super Smash Bros. Brawl Any Percent tutorial. I am SWC19, and I'm going to be taking you through it. So, first things first, a couple settings that I would prefer, or that would be beneficial for the run. I highly recommend being in 16:9 widescreen first, as 4:3 kind of stretches the screen and you see a lot less of the game, which isn't too great for the run. So 16:9. Your controls are up to you. Mine are default with tap jump off, that's how I like it. This is totally what you want. Same with rumble, I use mine off. So, we can get into this. A couple other things to mention. I'm playing on an emulator. Emulator is banned. It is not allowed for speedruns. By all means, if you would like to practice, go ahead and use save states, whatever. But if you are going to be submitting a run, you are not allowed to use emulator due to load times. They're considerably faster than console. So yeah. Couple other things. Every fight skip that I'll be talking about in the run is optional if you don't want to do it or you miss it. Some have backups, some don't, but you'll lose a little time, but you do not need them for a speedrun. So, the time starts on the difficulty select. I'm going to be going through easy, but almost every strategy applies for every difficulty. Basic tech, such as teching, DI, SDI, I will not explain in this video. I'm going to assume you know it. If not, there are multiple resources on YouTube or on other guides to explain what those are in Smash. So, let's get started on easy mode. So, cutscenes. There are a lot of cutscenes in the run. In order to skip them, you must press start and then A. So if you mash start and A during cutscenes, it works great, and you'll be able to get through them really quickly. So for this first fight, we're going to pick Kirby, and we're going to roll to the left a couple times, wait for Mario to get close to us, inhale, sometimes it's a bit finicky, and then fall down. And that's the entire fight. It's the fastest way to do it, and it's good. So like I said, mashing start and A to get through these cutscenes. For this next fight, we're going to pick Kirby again. Mashing start and A on character select also works. And then for this fight, we're just going to be using up smashes and forward smashes. They dispatch these primates fairly quick. Sometimes they're a little janky, but not too bad. For these clouds, you want to up air. Then for these last guys, the beam sword primates seem to have extra health, so forward smashing them is a lot better than up smashing. Sometimes they don't die like that. So if you forward smash, they should die right away. And that's that fight. It's fairly easy. It takes some time to get good at it. So for our first boss fight, it's PD Piranha. We're going to start by holding side B to the left, jumping up, and then just using hammer on the left cage. You need to hit the Zelda cage because we're going to be using Zelda later. So hitting PD does a little bit less damage than if you hit the cage itself. But make sure to always hit the Zelda cage. That's Midair Stadium. It's fairly easy, and it's more of a tutorial-ish level. So next we're going to move into Skyworld. After every stage, the cursor will default to save, so you need to go up and then hit back to map before the next level. So, Skyworld. We're going to be using Pit. Skip the cutscene as always. Almost every level begins the cutscene. For here, we're going to hold down, and then move right after this first platform, while still holding down. And then what I like to do is, once I get down here, up B, then float over to this box. You need to break the box in order to progress. Break the box however you want, and then move on to the door. And then here we're going to go into a fight. Down smashes work best. The pattern is usually similar, but not always. Forward airs and back airs are also very good to use. After that, we're going to run to the right, all the way to the right. You can run through enemies. As long as they're not actively hitting you, you won't get hit by them. Now for this Greep, this big ball guy, usually you're going to be past him, so he can do a back air, and then any other move will kill him right after that. I like to use up air because it's most convenient. And that's the second room. So this room is the first fight skip in the game. It's fairly quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down here, move a little bit to the left, jump, hold the jump button to start gliding, and then gain speed by going up and down 3 or 4 times, and then kind of park myself in the blast zone, then every so often dip back down to gain a little extra speed, and then fly over the fight. So this skip is fairly difficult. If you... I'm just going to do the fight real quick. If you do miss the glide, you can still progress through the stage as normal. There is a backup for this. It's actually a little harder than the glide, but it is doable. So you're going to want to approach the fight area from here. I don't know exactly where, but it's around here. You can up B from the ground, do not jump first. I'll explain a little bit about that later. And up B. Once you're in the blast zone, hold right, and then you should go over the fight. Now, your mileage may vary depending on where you start. If you end up over here, you might trigger the fight, so it depends. I highly recommend doing the glide strat, but if you can't, doing the up B can work as well. So from here, gonna go into the sled, cancel this with an air dodge or a move. If you don't, you'll tumble and fall, and then exit the stage. Skip these cutscenes. So from here, we're going to pick Zelda, and like we did before the PD fight, I'm going to hold down B during the screen transition. This is buffering. I'm going to refer to it multiple times during the run. You can do a single input, either a move or a special, and then you will do that the first frame you spawn in. So if you hold down B, you'll transform into Sheik, and then you're just going to run to the right. This room is very not technically intensive. Gonna jump, run to the right again. And then a very minor optimization you can do is on this second line on the Halberd, you can do a dash attack, and then you'll dash attack into the loading zone. It saves maybe a couple frames, but it looks cool. So again, we're going to pick Zelda, buffer into transform, run right. On these blocks, you're going to dash attack. And then for these, you're just going to fall, jump over that glunder, and then hold down through that so you don't grab the ledge here. Run to the left, dash attack this guy. Optionally, you can run through him, but sometimes they'll throw out a rock that hits you. But dash attacking is the safest option. Run left more. At this enemy, you're going to want to roll to the left and then keep running. Running through him would take too long, and dash attacking isn't really beneficial. So again, dash attack these blocks, and then just fall. These ones usually don't throw out rocks at you, so you should be okay. And then that's the second part. So this last one is probably the hardest room. It's also the longest. You're gonna want to go down to this area. So the first fight is right below where I am. Just take out these guys first. So the first fight's here. What I usually do is jump over to the right side of the generator so you don't get hit by these mites, the little stick figure guys, because they're really annoying. And then just up smash. That will kill it. That will kill the generator in one hit, and you'll be done with the fight. So just move on from here. You don't have to kill any of these mites. Sometimes they're annoying, but not always. And for this next fight, you can kind of do what you want with it. What I recommend is falling down right here, up smashing, jumping over to this generator, down air, up smash. Usually I do a back air to hit this guy, These mites will probably hit you, and then you run to the right. So, perfect RNG, you would actually get a super mushroom here, and it will make you a lot faster, and you can just run to the end. But we don't have one. I'm going to shield this boulder. Now that I've shielded it, I can't get hit by it again. This is due to hitbox properties, I don't know exactly why, but if you shield that boulder, you don't have to worry about avoiding it later. For this last creep, forward air, neutral air, usually kills him right away. His weak spot is this red head, of course, so just hit that, and that's Sea of Clouds. So to do optimally, that stage is somewhat difficult, but over time you'll understand the fights and how to do them. So next is Jungle. I'm going to pick Diddy Kong because he's faster. I'm going to do this a little quickly, just to catch some cycles. Monkey flip over this platform, and over this one, and then just run to the right. Jump, monkey flip to the cannon. You should do an aerial out of that, similar to the sled. It'll put you into tumble if you don't. And for these cannons, I'm just going to mash A. The cannons with the blue circle around them, you need to press A for. And then if you do this section right, you'll be in this cannon while it's pointing down. Obviously you don't want that, so wait until it points sideways or up, then hit A, and that's the room. So again, here I'm going to do a little quickly just to try and show off a cycle. Run through all the Goombas and Koopas. For here, I'm going to jump up, wall jump, a little faster. Forward air that button. Run through this guy, forward air that. Optimally, you want that trackball, the red ball, to be on top when you get here. So then you can hit it, and then just go through the fight. So that was actually a very good fight. After the fight ends, if you do it fast enough, that bullet bill that hit me will spawn, so just be careful for that. This fight is also fairly difficult. There are 2 of each things that spawn, so there's 2 Hammer Bros, 2 sets of 2 Hammer Bros and a Goomba, and then 2 Goombas down here. So from there, you can monkey flip to the cannon. Teching this is like basically impossible, so you can try it, but you probably won't get it, and then enter the door. So here is our first auto-scroller. You don't really have to do anything for a little bit, so you can just hang out, kill the enemies, and just wait till it ends. And if I am accidentally going too fast through some sections, feel free to rewind the video to see them. That's why I have the input display. You can kind of match what I'm doing, if necessary. So you're going to want to SD sometime during the auto-scroller into Donkey Kong. Doesn't really matter when, as long as you do it not too late. I'm going to sit on the right side here and wait for a bullet bill to spawn. This next one. Let him hit me, jump up to the door, and damage boost up. It's also optional, it saves a very little time, but it's pretty nice. So for this one, you're going to want to jump over the sled. If you go in it, you'll hit the wall and it's a little slower, and then just fast fall down. You're going to want to be on the right side until you see that diagonal pair of 2. Go left, up air this Goomba. If you can up air both of these Goombas at once. Dash attack the last 2, and that's the end of Jungle. So, optionally, you can down B those Goombas there to hit them, but it's not necessary. You can up air, that is fastest, but whatever works. It's not a hard fight, so just get through it. That's the end of Jungle. So Plane is actually the first stage without a cutscene at the beginning. You're going to want to pick Mario. Run to the right. You need to jump over this this enemy, because if you don't, the wind will just push you away and it's hard to progress. So jumping over him is fastest. Next one's just run to the right. For these blocks, you're going to want to dash attack to hit 2, jab to hit 1, and repeat, and you'll get through him fastest. Sometimes this guy won't do his move right away, so you can just jump over him, and then you have to air dodge through this ticking so you don't get hit. Run to the right more. If you can, perfect shield these jeeks, however you say them. So you go as fast as possible through them. If not, you can roll through them or jump over them. Also jump over that last Ouroboros, I think they are, and then move here. Here you can just mash down air. You'll get through the blocks, and your cooldown will kind of reset on each of them, so that's fine. If you run through all these guys, they cannot hit you. Then enter the door. So as mentioned earlier, you can buffer. You can buffer a dash through door transitions. It's very helpful. First fight, you're going to want to up smash. They got me. Up smash those. And I guess here we can talk about items. So that spike ball I just had is a good item. Bad items include, obviously, poison mushrooms that make you smaller. Curry is usually not that beneficial. Things like shells are very good because they hit. And so on. Super mushrooms are good usually. I don't think I'll get into a situation where I have to explain when they're not, but sometimes they're not that good. With these fights, I've just been up smashing and down smashing. Mario's down smash sends the enemy at an angle sideways, so they might have a chance to hit the opponent nearby them. So in that fight, I stuck more to the left side, so this, I'll call him the trumpet guy. The trumpet guy, he kind of went off screen and just died. There are two of them in the fight, so if you stay on the left side for a bit and work your way through those enemies, they'll go out of bounds, die, and then the other one will spawn, so you have to kill him. You take them out, and then just run to the right, and that's the end of plane. So Lake is going to start out with a boss fight. You can just mash through cutscenes, and then you're going to want to pick Fox. Run to the right, up smash when you get to Rayquaza, and then just forward smash. So Rayquaza has a lot of moves he can do. Most of them are normal and like not hard to deal with. This one's a little annoying, just up air when you get hit by the beam. Keep F smashing. So some other things he can do is dig, where he goes underground, which is really annoying, or fly when he goes back and forth on the screen, which is even more annoying. So here we're going to pick Fox again, because he's faster. Go into this door. When you get to these blocks, dash attack them. If you're not fast enough, you might miss it. Run to the right. Shield this Koopa. If you run, he will always hit you, so always shield him. If you can shorten your illusion to go a little less distance into the door, but you don't have to. Enter this door. Move more to the right. Drop down here, and go into the door. Here I'm going to buffer a jump into an up air. I didn't get it here, but if you jump an up air, you'll hit that right out of the door transition, and you'll hit the bomb. So we're going to jump up these platforms. Ladders are very slow, so we try to avoid them at all costs. Jump up to the left. And then when you get to this last platform, you're going to want to jump up, hold left, side B into the door. That's the fastest way. Of course, you don't have to do that. You could just walk over if you want. It's up to you. Here, roll through these guys like we did in Sea of Clouds. Sometimes the bird on the right might clip you, which is a little annoying, but if not, dash attack the blocks and go through the door. So here, run to the right. This enemy will never hit you if you're running, so just don't worry about it and run. Enter this door. Run more to the right. A very common theme. So this next fight is a giant Goomba and a small Goomba on the right side and two small Goombas on the left. So we're going to run over to the right one, up smash, down smash, dash attack, F smash the last one, and then hit this bomb block and run to the left. So luckily I got a mushroom, which, like I mentioned earlier, makes you go a lot faster. It's very good for this segment, especially because running is basically the biggest thing. So here, there's a couple things you can do. You can double jump and laser, kind of difficult, or you can just go up here and jab or laser, or however you want to hit the button. Now here, you can actually go through either door, it really doesn't matter, there's really no time difference. I'm going to go through the top, I'm going to side B into the door. You can cancel all your end lag by entering a door. Side B again into this door. and then up smash into forward smash, and enter the auto-scroller. So, similar to the jungle, we're going to want to SD into Diddy on this fight, or on this auto-scroller, but you don't have to do it just yet, so you can kind of just kill enemies, jump around, do whatever you want. This auto-scroller is about a minute and a half long, so kind of just do what you want. So some other items I forgot to mention that are very good include hotheads, which in the Goomba fight I found one. It's those orange fireball things. Especially on fights with platforms that you're on, like in Plane, you throw them down, they'll kind of circle around the stage and do a lot of damage to enemies. Here you can just reflect if you want, whatever. Usually after the bullet bills, I'll just side B off stage to go to Diddy. Kill the Goombas, it's not required, but nice to do. Taunt if you want, whatever. So now that the auto-scroller is over, we're going to run right. At this one, I double jump, and then side B to hit the hammer bro, and then just a regular monkey flip there to get through. Into the cannon, you don't have to do anything. And then we're going to enter the Bowser fight. So this fight is fairly difficult. Optimally, you're going to want to roll back, wait for Bowser to get close to you, if he wants to. Grab him, do a back throw, and then down air. So enemies, fights like this, like the AI fights, like CPU, after you do damage to them, they like to jump out of hit stun. So if you back throw him, you can kind of wait for the jump, and then just down air him out of that. I think like 99 times out of 100 they'll jump, so it's fairly easy. So Lake is a very hard stage to do optimally and very fast, so don't worry about it. There's a lot of different, like, small techniques that you can do to make it go faster. So Ruin Zoo starts with a very long auto-scroller. So as long as you don't die 3 times, you're fine. It's really not hard at all. A couple strats you can do to look cool. You can make your way behind Porky, and then you can walk right behind him. It's not very consistent, and you'll probably end up dying, but you can walk slowly, and Porky will just clear the way for you. Great. So yeah, you're probably gonna die on that, but it looks pretty cool. So again, you can actually, you don't even have to hit the button. You can just hold right, and Porky will hit the button for you, not hit you, and you can keep moving. This is if you want to be extra lazy. I mean, it's not like hitting a button's hard or anything, but if you really want. So what I'm doing there is called a zap jump. It's not useful in the speedrun, but it looks cool, again. If you do a double jump with Lucas and press side B on the same frame as you jump, you do a really, really high PK fire. Again, it's not useful, but you just get a lot of height, and it looks pretty cool. And you really don't have anything else to do in the auto-scroller, so might as well. So the Porky fight is both easy and difficult. Gonna pick Lucas, run over, down smash. Alternatively, you can down tilt. It does make it easier to avoid attacks like that, and the damage output is about the same. Porky also has a lot of moves that are really annoying. Also, that's good. These launchers destroy bosses. If you get one, you're very lucky, and pick it up and just mash A. So like I mentioned, Porky has a lot of annoying moves. The one where he kind of just like hangs out up here is probably the worst because it's hard to hit. You can't stand on him during it because he'll hit you and probably kill you. So that's Porky. Down smash, down tilt like I mentioned, best to use. So here again we're going to use Lucas. And we're just going to do a little bit of platforming. The route I'm doing is what I always do and recommend. Using down B, the magnet, gives you a little extra height and also cancels a double jump. So you can get the extra distance but not all the height if you need. Here we're going to double jump up to this platform. Depending on where you are in the cycle, they'll be different. Spikes are pretty annoying. And this fight. So we're going to try and forward air, or dash attack, or F smash all of these pyramids and the flows. For flows, I recommend F smashes because dash attacks don't kill, and neither do forward airs. For this item, this gold thing is a trophy stand. If you throw it at an enemy with low enough health, it'll turn into a trophy, which seems good, but the animation for it is very, very slow. So I don't recommend ever using them. Into the next room, run right, jump and forward air that button. This fight is a little annoying, so these balls spawn other balls of the same one. For this fight, you only have to spawn the ones that fall in from the ceiling. So this yellow one I don't have to kill. I can if I want, but it does not matter, and it won't help the fight's progress. But most of the time, you'll be hitting the ones that kind of pop in anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But if there's a couple on the left, you don't have to kill them if you don't want to. So here, kind of just follow my movement. For that boomerang, you can either shield or jump over them. And then here is a difficult and totally optional skip. I don't actually do it currently. You're going to want to kill the flows. Sometimes a third one spawns. Jump a couple times to move more to the right. Once you're on the very, very side of this platform, you're going to want to jump up, move over, PK Thunder to the right, and then clear the fight. It sounds difficult, and it is fairly difficult. It really doesn't save a lot of time. Still looks cool to do. I'll try it here. And I did get it. However, I'm going to go do the fight, just to show you what it looks like and how to get through it. I do not recommend doing the skip, because it takes too long to set up, and is fairly difficult. So for this fight, you're going to want to up air and F smash these Tickens and Pyramids. It's a very easy fight, which is why I don't recommend the skip. You can do some other movement techs with Lucas, PK Fire, and then down B the other way. You get a lot of momentum. That's Ruin Zoo. And now we're going to move into probably one of the hardest stages for a newer runner. Even for better runners, it's fairly difficult to do everything in this stage well. I'm going to start out with Marth. We're going to run to the right. And something I meant to mention earlier, speeds through every character are normalized, so with a little bit of like tolerances. So Marth in Subspace compared to regular Brawl is a lot slower. By comparison, Ganondorf is a lot faster. So they kind of normalize the speeds to be near equal. But again, some characters are still faster than others by their nature. That also applies to gravity. Gravity is very heavily increased, which is why I said earlier to not jump and then up B with Pit, because it'll kind of get sent down. So for that first room, I did a back air after each of the ledges. What this does for Marth is change his direction. So if I do a back air, I'll face to the right here. So doing that after a ledge already changes your direction, so you can just dash it that way. These guys, you're going to want to shield them, get through them as fast as possible. And then there's a cool little damage boost you can do here. You need to shield this first guy. Actually, I missed it. So what you do is shield the first one, shield the second one, roll to the left, and then get hit to the door. Very minor, looks kind of cool. This fight, you can pick either Marth or Meta Knight. I highly recommend picking Marth because he's a little better, but they're both pretty good for this fight. So Marth's best weapon, or his best move rather, is Up Smash. It has a big area of effect, you can kind of like vacuum enemies in, and it kills them right away. These buckets have very, very low HP, so basically anything will kill them. This creep's a little annoying with Marth, but not too bad. So I'm going to leave this guy on the left in, and if you are playing Marth, I recommend doing this. It is difficult, so you don't have to. What I'm going to do is run at the Primid, do an uncharged neutral B, and fall before the Primid dies, so I die with Marth. It's a little complicated, you don't have to do it, but if you are playing Marth, you will need to fall off the stage and die, so you can be Meta Knight for the next stage. If you're playing Meta Knight, you don't have to do this. As long as you are Meta Knight into the next room, you're okay. So here I'm going to do that trick I just talked about. And then fall right before the Primate dies. So for the next room, we're going to be Meta Knight. So up next is probably the one of the hardest skips in the game to do all the way. And it's a great introduction for Meta Knight's gliding. So Meta Knight's glide is very, very good. If you get enough speed, you can kind of go indefinitely, and I highly recommend, if you aren't at least decent at the glide, learn how to use the glide effectively. We're going to be doing it a lot in the speedrun for fight skips and general movement. So out of this area, we're going to want to jump 4 to 6 times. It really doesn't matter. And then I'll actually explain it after I do it. Alright, so what I did is I flew over a fight, sort of similar to what I did with Pit back in Skyworld. However, this whole skip is a little complicated, so I'm kind of going to go through it and try and explain as best as I can while I go. So what I did was skip over that first fight. Now I'm going to go into this second fight. After the fight is triggered and the enemy spawns, I'm going to run to the right and re-trigger the fight I just skipped. I think it's the most complicated part, just to explain. And then, from there, I'm going to want to lead one of the Primids that spawn in this fight on the right over to the left into the auto-scroller. So let me get there, and then I'll talk about it again. So now I have triggered the second fight. I have a Primid running behind me, which is what you need. Feel free to stop and make sure that he's running behind you. If he doesn't, you can't do the skip. So now we're in the auto-scroller. Once I get to a certain distance, there's a good amount of leeway for it, so I'll kind of give a visual cue. I'm going to want to kill this Primid that's running behind me. What that will do is end the auto-scroller. And from there, you're kind of on a timer to get to the end of the level, or at the end of this room. If you don't go fast enough, you'll kind of like die in the auto-scroller, and it'll look a little glitchy. So just try and go through this as fast as possible. If you do it, kind of follow my movement, you'll be fine. So we're going to move to the left here. Actually, I brought both of them along, which is a little worse, but not too bad. So my visual cue is when this gunner is visible. This actually might not work. Alright, we're good. Jump 6 times. Glide. Go down and up. You need to go a certain height to pass over a death plane. Go down to refocus the camera. Skip a fight here. This one is the hardest. You want to get enough height. So I did everything there correctly. For that last skip, you need to get enough height to pass over the fight trigger. It is difficult, and it's a lot higher than it might seem. I highly recommend getting a save state if possible here, and just practicing it over and over again until you get it. It is difficult, and it's totally okay to miss. I'll actually go through what happens if you do miss. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back into the fight. The fight is going to end, or actually no. The auto-scroller is going to end, the one that we kind of despawned earlier. It's going to end, and then we're going to die, spawn in as Marth, and then we'll go into the next section. So I'm going to trigger this fight. Obviously, don't do this. Finish this room. You don't have to actually do anything. You can kill these if you want, but you're not going to be able to finish the fight. So the auto-scroller ended. We weren't there, so we got killed by it. However, we're still going to spawn back here. So your Marth on the left, run to the right, or run to the left and go through the door. This area, we have minecarts. Also, a good thing, well, you're losing time if you miss a skip, but a good thing is Marth is very good in this fight. So it is beneficial if you do miss, like, don't reset or anything, because missing that last one especially doesn't lose that much time. So it is okay to miss. Like I said earlier, every fight skip is optional, they're not required for a complete run. Of course they save time, but you don't need to do them. So once the fight's done, you'll know because the little jingle will play and the box will spawn. Move to the right. These carts will end. You need to jump. Don't press anything in between here. You can move the analog stick. But if you press A, B, X, Y, or jump early, you'll fall out of the cart and it'll be a lot slower. Of course, don't do that until you want to actually jump out. So just wait here, and then for the last one, we're going to want to jump here, enter the door, and then run to the right. Again, it does not matter what character you are for this part, as right here we'll get the option to select a character. So we're going to pick Meta Knight again. That fight there was, I believe, the only time in the run we do not pick Meta Knight when we have a chance to pick him, just because he's so good. So I'm going to do this next section fairly quickly because it is a little cycle-based. I'm going to run to the right, jump on a platform, then jump on a box, and then do a fight skip. This skip is fairly difficult, and I'll hopefully get it. So jump on a platform, box, jump 3 times, up B, go down, and then go at an angle towards the end of the room. So that fight skip, you need to have a fairly specific angle. If you go too high, you'll either die or lose speed. If you go too low, you'll trigger the fight. I'm not going to go through the fight, but if you were in the fight, down smashes and neutral air are the best tools. This is the same for every fight with Meta Knight in it. But again, that skip is difficult, and you'll probably end up missing it, but that's okay. That last skip does save about 50 seconds to a minute total. So more cutscenes, and then we get into Forest. So the hard part's over, Forest and the next couple are fairly easy. So we're going to start out by picking Yoshi. And then you can buffer a side B or not, whatever. Side B into this first fight. Up smashes to take out all the Primids. This one that's going to spawn on the left, you don't have to kill. Boomerang one, you don't. For some reason, it's not required to end the fight. Side B again. Stop here. Just with another B press. Jump. And then up B to get a little extra height. And then do that again a couple more times to get over these trees. Gonna want to jump to the right side of this fight. Forward smash this guy. And then all these poppets will die in one up air from Yoshi. So that movement was pretty good, so try and follow that if you kill the Primids in time. The poppets on the left and right only spawn after the Primids die. The one in the middle doesn't, but it's still best to kill the Primids first. After that, just side B to the door and go on through. So this next room you can do in multiple ways. You can run through it, or you can kind of follow my movement with side Bs and canceling them early to damage boosts. It's fairly difficult, but we'll see how it goes. Sometimes this first one will hit you. If not, just keep going for the second one. And then if you're lucky, you can actually damage boost up to the second one, the second spring here. Springs are pretty nice because you can waste your jump, hit a spring, and then you regain your jump. So every time you go on a spring, you're allowed to do another jump. From here, you're going to want to air dodge through this bird. So air dodge through him, jump down, down B for a little extra speed, and side B. You need to cancel your side B early enough so you don't fall off. Yoshi's side B puts him into free fall if you're like over a pit when you're canceling it, so make sure it ends early. If you're lucky, you can get a damage boost into this next fight. This next fight, more up smashes. Kind of just follow this route if possible. Sometimes you'll kill them out of order, but it's not a big deal. Up airs as well are very good. And that's that fight. So move more to the right. Jump over these. You don't need to break any of those bomb blocks, except for this one here. So what I'm going to do here is, once I get over here... Excuse me. I'm trying to explain stuff. Alright. So what I'm going to do is, Alright, anyways. What I'm going to do is fall off of this platform. Back air, and then just hold right and up into the door. If I'm lucky, we'll get a little weird animation. So yeah, you can enter the door before the block is completely broken, and you'll just walk into the block. So this next area, we're going to want to start with a side B, and then go all the way through everything until the spring, jump over the blocks, and through this area, side B again, and then keep going until you hit the button, then you can cancel, do a double jump, then into the ladder. This button you can hit however you want. I usually do an up smash, doesn't really matter. This next one I recommend hitting with a neutral air, just so you can do it while jumping. That spring you don't have to go on, you can just jump over into the fight. Enter this fight. I highly recommend grabbing and throwing these beetles. When you grab an enemy in Subspace, you will automatically do a forward throw, unless you input fast enough to not. So this one you don't have to worry about, you could just grab them and forward throw them into the out of bounds. So side B at the end of here, and you're done with Forest. So that stage is fairly hard to explain, but in practice it's not too difficult. As long as you do not die with Yoshi, because Link is very, very bad in Subspace. So at all costs, try not to use Link. Going into Research Facility 1, this is a fairly long stage and there's a lot of stuff to it, so I'll try and explain as best as I can. You're going to start as Zero Suit, jump over or break these blocks, and then go up 2 on the elevator, as high as you can go. Go to the right. The Robs with purple arms, like this one, they shoot a shot like that. The Robs with red arms will attack you, like melee. So, it's important to know the difference. You don't have to worry about any of the purple ones almost ever. The red ones sometimes you have to worry about. So Pikachu is already selected, so you can just keep mashing through the cutscene. What I do is jump over the second and fourth ones because they will hit you if you run through them. And then these last ones you don't have to worry about again, because they take way too long to wind up. Jump up here and do a side B for a little extra movement. Go down the ladder and enter the door. Run to the right here. You can charge another side B and try and hit this row turret. It is beneficial to hit them. And then for the rest of the fight, up smashes and neutral airs are best. This Rob, if you run at him, he'll hit you, so shield. and go on the sled. I recommend air dodging or doing an attack before you hit the ground so you don't go into tumble. Grab this key. If you are playing on easy, it is fairly difficult to drop the key after taking damage. If you're on a higher difficulty, try not to get hit, because there's a higher chance of dropping the key and you'll have to come all the way back here to get it. So jump over the sled, jump up here, and open the door. So in a casual playthrough, you would jump up and go to the right, get another key, and then open the door, run all the way to the left, and hit a button. Here we don't have to. This is not a major sequence break, but it's still one, and it's pretty helpful. So I'm going to go on the sled here, and once I get all the way to the end, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to hold left. Once you're here, you're going to do a down B, thunder, and then kind of just escape. So what that thunder did, the hitbox on it is so large that it hits the button through the floor. And you skip that whole part. So it's getting back here, you can do a side B, up B, whatever works best to get you out. So like I mentioned earlier, ladders are very slow. So what I recommend doing for this small climb you need to do here is jump, wall jump. Kind of hard to do it a little slowly. Jump, wall jump. Sometimes you wall jump first, but another jump, wall jump, and then up B to the top there. So hop on here, and if you're in this area, right where I am right now, you can crouch the entire way and not have to do anything, and you will not get hit. Alternatively, you can down taunt. That one that just passed me was the one that would hit me if I wasn't crouching. So then after that, go on to this gray spot here and get ready to do thunder. So 2 glunders spawn here, and if you thunder at the right times and early enough, you'll just hit them and they'll die. Hit the button and then backtrack to the left. If you want, you can use side B or up B to aid movement. Not necessary, but it's nice. Again, more side Bs and wall jumps for movement. Doing that's a lot faster than going on ladders. Same with this. What I like to do for this climb is wall jump on the right wall, jump again, and then up B straight up. This guy doesn't hit me. And then from there, I'm going to jump off the ledge and then up B again. This green, brown Rob, whatever color he is, he's going to shoot. So if you are fast enough, I recommend getting up on the ledge, running behind the Rob, and then getting to and then up being to the highest point. That's the end of that climb. Gonna want to run here. Roll past this guy. Running past him is too slow. Jump over this bomb. Run more to the right. This Rob will always shoot at you, so shield him. And then the metal primate fight. So metal primates have a unique property that if you throw or like shoot an item at them, they will reflect it, kind of like innately. So if you have items such as the blue spike ball or a hothead, do not use them in this fight if they spawn, because the primates will reflect them. So here, I'm just gonna up smash and forward smash. It's a fairly difficult fight because they have a little more HP than usual. And then just make your way through this part. These bombs are a little annoying. And that's the end of Research Facility 1. Okay, so going into Lakeshore. The first part of Lakeshore, you're going to have 2 fights. I believe that these 2 fights are the hardest split in the game. A lot of runners have separate splits for the fights and the rest of Lakeshore, because these fights are heavily RNG based. They're fairly skill based and they're very, very hard. So we're going to go through 2 cutscenes, pick pit, already selected by default, and we're going to fight Shadow Zelda. And he's very difficult. So what I'm going to try and do is forward smasher off to the left of the screen, off the walk-off, and killer. Alternatively, because it probably won't go that well, I can forward air or back air or even back throw. So I'm going to try and grab her, do a couple forward smashes. The way they roll is kind of random. Okay, so that should kill. Like I mentioned earlier in the Bowser fight, oftentimes the CPU will jump after getting hit if they're a high enough distance, so you can somewhat anticipate that and get ready with a back air. Sometimes they don't, and they don't tech. On easy, the enemy usually does not tech, probably like 9 out of 10 times, so it's fairly safe to just approach with another forward smash. Like I said, I didn't actually kill, but she jumped, and then I was able to back air and end the fight. So here you're going to want to pick Pit, again, so Mario is selected by default. Go over left to Pit, and then start this fight. Same as last one, except you have 2 now. Sometimes Mario will help you, sometimes he won't. Like there, he throws him to the right. That's not that good. But yeah, for some reason these AIs are very, very good, and they're awful to deal with. So Yoshi just SD'd, that's fine. You can also kill them off of the top or the right, whatever is most convenient. This fight you really need to adapt to. Nice job, Mario. Nice job, Mario. So adaptation is key on these fights, and you'll need to take what the fight gives you. So here we're going to pick Yoshi. And this is the easy part of Lakeshore, because half of it is an auto-scroller. Side B all the way to here, remember to cancel before you go off, or else you'll die. Jump on this platform as early as possible, because that's what triggers the fight, or the movement. For these bomb things, you can either down tilt them or side B into them. Kind of up to you. Most other moves don't actually work, like dash attack kind of doesn't kill that well. So do whatever works best and what is fastest for you. For this creep, always down air them, because you get a lot of damage out very quickly. That spike ball was in the way the whole time. Alright. So usually that'll go better if you just down air them right away. If the creep doesn't hit the 2 clouds, you can up air them afterwards. So the moving platform is going to go all the way down. Make sure you don't fall. Once it gets small enough, you can jump a little early just to get extra distance. And then enter the auto-scroller. So this auto-scroller is very slow. And it takes about a minute. Maybe more. I think it's the second longest auto-scroller in the game. I'm not sure, but it's not fun. Also here, it really doesn't matter if you die as Yoshi. It's beneficial to not, but if you do, it's not a time loss, because right after this auto-scroller we get to pick characters, which is good. So just make your way through, don't get stopped by those moving blocks. And just kind of go through. This sled, if you go on it too early, you'll die, because it sends you all the way down here. It's kind of like a trap. Alright, so once you're after that might fight, you're going to want to kind of stay more to the right of the screen, especially now. After this gray platform here, you can kind of jump and just start running to the right, holding up to end the area. Pick Yoshi again, and then right here you're going to want to down B, just for movement. These enemies can only be hit when their like red center is exposed. Down B again for movement. And then just jump up here. It's important to get up to about this section as fast as possible, because that'll start this cycle. You cannot make this cycle whatsoever, so don't worry about it. And then just go through this area, grab the key, take the top door, make sure to do 2 full jumps there to get all the way up. If you don't, the key is at the end of the other sections, but you'll lose time, so don't do it. Then you can side B all the way to the end here. You don't have to fight that guy. Hit the bomb blocks. You can air dodge or attack, or just hold down after the ledges so you don't grab them. Next bomb block, side B into this fight, and then just up smash. After some time, you'll learn what each character's best move is for a fight like this. Yoshi's is up smash, Meta Knight's is neutral air and down smash, etc. Some stages like this have an extra section after that, so make sure you don't forget that and look away or whatever. So that is the end of Lakeshore. Once you're past that, it gets a little easier for a little while again. Path to the Ruins, pick Lucas, and here we have probably the easiest fight skip in the game. Run through this area, get through these however you want. Then after the spikes, there's going to be a fight. However, if we kind of run on this area, and I don't know the exact place, but not too far, jump up, do a double jump, and then PK Thunder over. If you don't really know the PK Thunder movement, kind of follow what I did. It's basically up B and then do a half circle, or a 3/4 circle, into Lucas. So then again, we're going to do another PK Thunder. Jump over and air dodge over these guys. If you don't air dodge, you can't make it. So for some reason, just air dodge over them. PK Magnet, whatever it's called, over that last one. And then just kind of follow that movement. If not, you can make it through however you want. That's that. This next section is fairly difficult and should be done quickly to get the right cycles. There are a couple ways you can hit these buttons. If you can, you want to go to the side of like the ceiling where the button is, then do an up air, so you don't get like stuck in the alcove where the button is. Then just fall down here. This first fight, you're gonna want to go in the middle, F smash these guys. Fortunately, I got a poison mushroom. Sometimes they will hit you and you can't do the proper cycle. So what you want to do properly is just F smash right or left, and then just keep repeating F smashes in the opposite direction until the fight's over. This next one, again, more forward smashes. These enemies, when you do enough damage to them and they're not in hit stun, they will grow. When they're growing, they are invincible. So if you can, hit them and kill them while they're in their blue phase. This fight, F smash to the left, F smash to the right, forward air this guy, and then forward air this guy. Oh. Alright, we're good. Here you can do a little bit movement tech to get through there here a little bit quicker. And this fight is kind of difficult to do like very well. What I usually do is forward smash him, get rid of these guys, and then kind of just dispatch these Armites. They're difficult. Armites are one of the hardest enemies in the game to deal with, just because of their attacks and their size, and it's just not fun. So now that we're done with that part, all the way down here, the top of the elevator is a little bit faster, so jump on the top, hit up, and then just wait and run to the right, through the door, and then run to the right some more. So up next is the Wario fight. There are a couple ways you can do this, but I think the safest way, and probably the fastest way, is to pick Lucas, and then PK Fire Wario into the pillars. As I mentioned earlier, the CPUs do not tech, so you can just keep hitting PK Fire into him until he gets about 60 to 70%, and then up smash. And then he's dead. Up smash is a very large hitbox, so you don't have to get right on him. You can get sort of close, then just do it, and then he's gone. Alternatively, you can go to the side of the stage and grab him, but in my experience, it hasn't been consistent or fast, so I highly recommend doing the PK fire strats. They're very easy, and sometimes Oreo will shield and stuff, but not always. So Cave. Cave is probably one of my favorite levels, just due to the movement in it. Pick Yoshi, then just buffer a side B. After the ledge, let go, or press B again, because doing like a roll jump is not that good. You can side B here for a little extra movement, and then jump up the ladder, and then enter this fight. Up smashes and forward smashes are your friend here. This fight is a little difficult because very often you'll think the fight is over and like get ready to go to the next part, but it's not actually over. In that case, it was. Sometimes, if you don't kill enough, one more will spawn after like a good amount of time. So just make sure that you don't kind of get ahead of the camera, make sure the camera unlocks before you go to the next section, or else you'll die. This area, just make your way through. These moving floors are no problem on easy. So do a couple double jumps and up Bs to get up there. Fall again. Sometimes when you're jumping up to this ladder, you'll hit the Goomba, so you can just air dodge. I did miss the cycle here, so these moving blocks, they used to be bane of my existence, but now they're fairly easy. So what I usually do, if I can do this properly, so what I usually do is, not die to them. Go through this one, fall under the second one, and then just jump through the third one. It's very hard to show off, like, not in a run. So that's that. If you need to, take it slow. Next room, grab the key, jump over to the door, and enter the door. It's a very, very short room. The next section, just side B into here. Do a double jump to the left platform, left again, up the ladder. Again, ladders are slow, so jump up ladders. If you are playing as Link, you will need to take these right platforms, because if you do a double jump then up B with Link, you'll be too low to get to the next one. So just, you'll need to take this section slow if you're playing not Yoshi. Next fight, again, grab the beetles and throw them off. It's best, so you don't have to kill them. Dash attack these ones. If you have an item that you can throw, sometimes you can hit this last one early. You just drop it with just neutral, like Z. If you drop it, it'll hit him, it'll die, and it ends the fight a little bit faster. Side B at the end of here, and then just jump up to the top. This gas will hurt you, but it does not impede your movement, so you can just go right through it. Same with here. Side B through this entire section. Here, you're going to want to side B past the button a little bit into the middle to start the fight. Then what I like to do is go left, up smash this guy twice, and then down air the one here, and that'll be the end of the fight. So I recommend running to the right here, because if you side B, you might end it too short. So run to the right, and then just platform the rest. If you need to, take it slow, because dying here is not too bad, but not the best. Side B through this part, air dodge through the boulder if you can, and then side B to the end. That stage is kind of similar to Forest, where it's kind of dense and like hard to explain, but it gets very easy to get through it. Now there's Ruins, which is not very dense, but very difficult. So I'm going to go somewhat quickly here through the first section. You're going to want to pick Squirtle. Go down into the minecart. Cancel the minecart with anything, Just don't, like, do nothing. Going to run to the right here and side B. Jump over all these guys and catch this cycle. So that cycle is pretty hard to get. I'm just doing it to show that it's possible. Same with this one here. If you were to miss the first cycle, you can catch this one kind of quickly. Just make sure your movement's good. If not, just wait. That's totally fine. It is hard, and it's not worth getting yourself squashed to try and catch it when you know you're going to miss it. So for the last part, you can just jump out of the moving Ferris wheel thing into this area, hit the button on the right always, and spawn the door. So now we have an auto-scroller. Squirtle can unfortunately not actually fight fires, so you just gotta sit through it. Dying in this auto-scroller really doesn't matter, as long as you are Lucas for the end of this room overall. Also, gold boxes don't matter at all. If you want to hit them, go ahead. Unless you're playing like low percent or something. This minecart you also need to cancel early or else it will kill you. Okay. So now that we're done with the auto-scroller, we're going on to the next auto-scroller. Very slow. So again, kind of just hang out for a little bit. I usually like to SD after this area. Just personal preference, it really does not matter at all. So I'm going to be Lucas for this next part. Kill these Mellopyramids just because they're annoying. Don't have to, but it's best. So then, after this point, a Pyramid's going to spawn, don't have to worry about them. This door on the bottom left, I'm going to get into somewhat early. I'm going to go through it. This leads to a sub-area, which we don't need to go through to progress. However, I'm going to enter the door and then leave the door right away. What this does is despawns the platform and unlocks the camera, so we can just fall to the end. Alright, so actually I missed the faster strat, but what I meant to do was fall off the platform and air dodge into the door. However, go to the end here, platform is gone, so we can just fall to the rest. So that's the auto-scroller. That skip, that like minor skip will be used later. Just to like move the camera. So these fights are fairly difficult to do well. I'll try and go through them as best as I can, and I just recommend copying my movement and when I do attacks. So I'm going to charge fully charge an up B or an up smash here. Once I see the auto land spawn, a little after that, I'll start charging, and that'll hit everything, and then you do it again. Here I'm gonna forward smash this guy. Try and forward air those two, but that kind of worked out well, and then just F smash the last one. This last fight is probably the hardest. I'm gonna wait a little while. Actually, well, meant to up smash there, but this works. So with that fight, the Shadosses, I think they're called, their animation does not give them vulnerability until they reach a certain point. So you need to wait with the up smash until they get there, but if it doesn't go out well, just try and forward air, whatever else. So these buttons, when you hit them, they open the door. Playing on easy, you have a lot of time to get through them, so it's really not a big deal. What we do, gonna run up to it, stop, and then jab. So that's actually faster than dash attacking, say. For that other one, I just did a neutral air to hit it faster. I mean, you can hit these buttons with anything, so it doesn't matter, but doing, like, stopping and then jabbing is usually fastest. Air dodging through that row turret makes you so you don't get hit. It's fairly precise and kind of hard, so if you get hit, that's okay. This last one, you can jump through this guy, and then go through the door. And that'll start the Charizard fight. This fight is also very, very difficult, just because Charizard's AI is weird, but it's still easier to end the fight. So what you're going to want to try and do is just grab him, similar to what you did with Diddy, actually. By all means, just try and spike him, honestly. What you're going to want to try and do is back throw him into back air to spike him, but it's very difficult because Lucas's back air has a weird, like, spike hitbox. So just try and get him off stage and just spike him in any way you can. It is hard. So after Ruins, we have the Wilds. Or, Wilds 1. So, like I mentioned earlier, gliding is extremely important here. So I'm just going to start with a glide out of up B, and then just fly over everything. This whole section is fairly short. You can do tornadoes if you want, but gliding is just nice. So this whole area, don't go too far down or else you'll die. Don't fall, just follow the camera. The camera is set, and it won't go where you go. If you want, you can kill these enemies, you don't have to. This section always used to plague me because I always tried to go faster than the camera. Wait until the camera unlocks before you start going. This room you can tornado through. Try and mash B as fast as possible. It is hard, but the more you mash, the faster you go. These bombs are probably going to be on a different cycle every time you get there, so just make your way through them. Grab one of these guys, and this is probably the second easiest fight skip in the game. It might actually be the easiest, up to you. So what I'm going to do is wait for this guy to drag me all the way up into the blast zone, and then just jump in tornado over a fight. Actually very, very easy in practice. So I'm going to jump into the blast zone and just mash B, and we're over the fight. And falling down here, eventually the screen will unlock, you can move right. And then again, we're going to glide over everything. Because it's best. Over time, you will definitely learn how to glide better. At first, it is very difficult, and you might not be that good at it. It took me a good amount of time to actually learn how to glide properly, like in the context of Subspace. So again, another auto-scroller. Just don't fall. Some primates are going to spawn here. If you want, you can kill them. Doesn't really matter, because they'll despawn later. And again, try not to beat the camera if possible. So here, the next thing that's going to happen in this area is 2 giant primates are going to spawn. And what I'm going to do is do a down smash to kill them, but I need to set up on a certain point. So if you see that little dark spot that's right above the X in quit, I'm going to stand on that, wait for them to spawn, and then down smash. You have a little bit of time to set this up. Then if you down smash, it'll hit them and kill them. And that's that. So this area you can run through. Sometimes they'll throw their bombs at you in a way that you can like not get hit by them. What I like to do here is just glide through this area. You can use the cannons if I recommend it at first, but gliding through the end is a lot faster and better. So it's up to you. And then we go into the boss fight, which is Gallium. Pick Meta Knight as you always do, and just run at him in the neutral area. His moves are not very threatening, and it's kind of okay to get hit by them sometimes, unless you're at like 100%. Some are a little annoying, like this one, but alternatively you can down smash. We will be doing that later, but neutral air hits multiple times and it does a lot of damage, so I recommend using it. until the end of the fight. So I hope you didn't miss Gallium, because we're about to fight him again. Something to say about bosses. Charizard destroys bosses. He is fantastic against them with one move, side B. So we're just gonna side B Gallium. And Rock Smash. Depending on the RNG and what he does, you can finish the stage in under 30 seconds. With 5 to 7 Rock Smashes, it's extremely easy. So, now we're going to go into Wilds 2. I'm going to go through this first half of the stage 2 times. The first time I'm going to go through it if you are not playing on PAL. This is the only PAL exclusive skip in the game, and it saves about 1.5 minutes, so if you really want to splurge and get a PAL copy of the game, go ahead. You'll save about 2 minutes total. So if I am on NTSC, I will pick Yoshi and then just smash. So Yoshi is the best for this first fight. I want to jump over here, start the fight, and then just kill everything. So that'll start the auto-scroller. And then we'll go through it. This auto-scroller is slow. Remember that. It's a very slow auto-scroller. And then just SD with Yoshi. And also SD with Kirby. So you're pit for the next section. Then again, just go through the auto-scroller as normal. Hit the trackballs into the boxes. Pick up the trophy if you want there. And then for this fight, you're going to want to stand on the edge here until the fight starts. Back air these 2 enemies if you can. Just kill them anyway. There's gonna be 4 of them overall. And then just back air this guy. So then you're at the end. So now, I'm going to go back to the map and do the skip, the PAL skip that I call it. After this section, both NTSC and PAL versions are the same, so don't worry about it. It's only getting up to this point where there is the version difference. So we're going to go back in. And because I'm playing on PAL, I'm going to pick Kirby first and then Pit second. So what I'm going to do is actually skip the first fight. I missed it. So it's somewhat precise in that you need to get enough distance on your jumps with Kirby. And then up B to get past like that little hump in the ground. There we go. So now the auto-scroller doesn't actually occur. You can still do this on NTSC. However, once we run off to the side here, if I was playing on NTSC, I would go all the way back to the beginning. Because I'm playing on PAL, you get sent past the fight and you don't even have to do it. So that saves about 1.5 minutes. Can do it, I recommend it, but this will not work on NTSC. So from here, both of the versions, the rest of this part is the exact same. So we're gonna carry on. Up through the first elevator, wait all the way to the end. If you want to glide here, it's a little faster. If not, you can just run through them. And then for this section, what I like to do is jump up, glide, because again, it's a little faster. And then once we are at this little hump in the ground, I'm going to up B. Once I'm in the blast zone, hold right, and that skips a fight. Again, I'm going to up B just for convenience to get to the end and start the auto-scroll. So that's why you want to play as Pit after that fight, or after the SD and PAL skip, because you can skip that fight there. And that fight is fairly long and fairly annoying. So again, we're going to up B, hit some blocks, another up B, cancel it, and then jump over these enemies to end Wilds 2. So like I mentioned, that is the only notable version difference in the game, speedrun-wise. So there aren't any other PAL exclusive skips that we know about currently. And yeah, so next is Swamp. This is also one of the hardest stages in the game. It's long and it's just a lot of movement. So I'm going to be using Fox's side B for a little extra movement boost here. And we get introduced to Wind, which lowers your gravity, which is nice in some places. If you're not comfortable with using Illusion here to move, feel free to just jump. Just try not to die. It is okay to be Diddy Kong, but I don't recommend it. So just jump. You can skip this platform here by doing 2 jumps and then side Bing to this ledge. Same with these ladders. You can do a double jump and then go here. And then what I like to do is go on this platform, double jump, and side B to this ledge. So here we're going to start the fight. Up smash, up air, forward smash. Fox has a lot of really good tools in fights. So you can kind of just do whatever. Hotheads, I really haven't had a chance to use them in a fight yet, but they do charge on like fire or energy based attacks, and the bigger they get, the more damage they do, and the bigger hitbox they have, so it's beneficial. Not in a lot of cases, but in some. I'm going to side B up to this platform here, and I'm going to side B up again into this door. Similar to Ruins, we're going to enter the door and exit it to move the camera up a bit. So that was a blind, like, movement, and if you are too low when you go up to that door, you'll die because you're in the blast zone. So it takes a little bit of time to kind of get a feel of where or how early you can get to the door. And it's a little tricky at first, but over time you'll get it. It's okay to do it like a little late, but if you do it too late, it won't be helpful. So again, more blind movement. That one's a little harder to tell where you can and can't die. So here we have the giant Diddy Kong fight. A lot of people have lost runs or lost a lot of time to this fight, and it's difficult and RNG heavy, but usually there's a very easy way to do it. So what we're going to do is pick Fox. That's a little faster for loads, and then Falco, then Diddy. So I'm going to roll back a couple times. 3. Try and grab him, and then back throw. And if he doesn't die right then, do forward smashes towards Diddy to kill him. So that was a good fight. I got lucky, he didn't hit me, and he didn't get any items, so it's a hard fight, and it takes a while to get very good at, so just be patient with it, and whatever. So again, we're going to pick Fox here. Jump out of there, do a side B. I usually down air into that sled, and you'll go right into this fight. So what I do is a back air, up air in this guy, down smash, and forward smash. So there's 4 Hammer Bros altogether, and sometimes they're annoying if you don't do the fight fast enough, so just try and kill them as fast as you can, and you'll be good. Then you can side B into this barrel, again, just mashing A, and it doesn't matter where you go. If you get hit, that's fine. If you press A out of the sled, you'll jump, so don't do that. You don't actually have to wait for that cannon to hit you towards this bomb block. If it sends you in the water, that's fine. You can just jump and do an attack into the bomb to break it. So next is the spring room, which is fairly difficult to do well. Just try your best, and there's a couple strats you can do with illusion to kind of help. I still have trouble with doing it well at this point. Here, you can hit the first one, then dash attack through the next two. Side B over that. And then just go on the last ones. And side B to the door. And we have the auto-scroller to end the level pretty much. You can reflect here, probably best to do, just so you don't really have to do anything. And then for this next fight, it is an easy fight, but it can go wrong very quickly. So what I'm going to do is just forward smash. If I don't get hit, it's good. However, I got hit, so that kind of makes it a little more difficult. This red shell that I have here needs to be off the stage for that Koopa to be considered dead. You can't just leave it and say you killed it because you didn't. So if there's a red shell, or if like nothing's spawning but the fight isn't over, make sure you don't have any red shells hanging out, because they need to be completely off the stage for that enemy to be considered dead. After that, congrats, you're done with Swamp. It's a hard stage, so at first you're going to take a long time on it, probably. Then again, you can kind of do a little bit more movement to get to the end. So after that hard stage, we have another hard stage, Research Facility 2. So you're going to start with Samus, and then just run to the right. This first Rob is going to swing at you, so shield him. These blocks you can just jab when you're up next to him. It'll break all four at once, and you can walk through. These ices, try not to get hit by them because they will freeze you. Getting frozen is not good. It takes a while to get unfrozen, and it's just annoying. Hit this button, and you have a lot of time here to move over to this section, because this transition takes a while. Once it's over, move to the right. Go down the ladder, then jump and do a down air. Your speed from the down air is considerably faster than falling or just going down the ladder, so do that. Enter the door, and move to the right some more. Jump over these two melee Robs, because they'll swing at you. And start the Dark Samus fight. So, you're going to want to pick Pikachu here, because Thunder's properties are in such a way where the enemies usually just fly off the top of the stage. So the general strategy you're going to want to do here is do a down smash, and then follow the Samus, and then Thunder. It is a lot easier said than done. This fight is difficult to do quickly, based on items and whichever direction they go. You can also up smash or up throw to get them in a spot to Thunder. It kind of depends on what situation you're in. So this fight is difficult. If possible, you can also kill them off the side, if that works best for your situation. If you up smash, a majority of the time, they will just go straight up, so you don't really have to follow their movement, and you could just use Thunder, which is nice. So from here, these are probably the hardest rooms, some of the hardest rooms in the game. So jump over these Robs, jump over the blocks, more blocks. Here you're going to want to down tilt again, and again, and then bomb to get through that one block gap. Then for here, you need to be very careful to not get squashed by these blocks. So depending on how fast you went through the first section, this first red block will either be in a good spot or a bad spot. So right now it's in a pretty bad spot, and if I was to jump on it right now, I would get squashed and die. And you need to keep Samus through this room. So I'm just going to wait. Now it's in a good spot, I can jump over these blocks safely and move on to the next room. You will probably die here, and it's very annoying, but you need to be Samus for this next part. So if you die, you'll need to die again with Pikachu. Unless you want to, you can go through the optional way, but it's very, very slow and not recommended. So you're gonna jump through this area, jump off of this red platform, hold right, jump again, down B, and keep holding right. So what that does is changes your spawn position to right next to this bomb block here. And I hit the bomb block, use Thunder to hit the button above me, and there are a couple ways that you can go through this next part. So the safest way is to go up on here, fall down, and then jump up and up B to this one. Alternatively, you can jump off right where you did Thunder, and then do some quick attack stuff to get to the platform, but that platform I was on is the one you need to get to this next part. So there's a couple ways you can do it. The way I did is the safest way and the easiest way, but it's a little slower than some of the other ways that you can do. So after we go into this door, we're going to do the next sequence break. Up smash this first enemy, hit the next ones. You don't have to actually hit these ones, but I recommend it. Do not break this gold block. The next part is very difficult without it. So what we're going to do is do a full jump, wall jump, another full jump, wall jump, and then quick attack like that. So it is hard to do it slowly, so just try and follow the controls that I just did. So what I did was an up B to the angle and then up. So I kind of held the angle up and to the right and then went straight up. And that'll get you to this teleport pad, and that skips a couple rooms, and it's very nice. If you find that you cannot do this skip, you can go through this teleport pad and go through some other stuff, but this saves a lot of time. And now we're at the Ridley fight. So again, you're gonna want to pick Pikachu and up smash. Ridley has a lot of moves that are very annoying to deal with. They'll be moving all around the stage and just flying everywhere, and it's a hard fight. So unfortunately, he keeps moving around, but just keep up smashing. There are a couple good moves that he can do. I'll point him out if he does it. If he does something like that, you can Thunder to hit him during his like semi-invincibility. So like here, I could just do Thunder. The lasting hitbox will hit him, and it does a little extra damage. So this is the good attack, so you can still hit him during this phase. If he does that, I recommend doing forward smash, because that'll do a little more damage. So that fight is annoying, and the RNG is always bad, and Ridley's moves are just not fun. So eventually you'll get to a point where you just deal with it, and it happens. So outside the Ancient Ruins is where we get Captain Falcon. So again, as I mentioned earlier, speed is normalized, so Falcon is a little slow. He is still the fastest character, with one exception, which we don't have yet. So, still gonna use him. Make your way through this area, up B over this guy. Then for this section, we're going to double jump, wall jump, up B to get to the top, and avoid climbing the ladder. This fight, you only have to kill the beetles. You don't have to even kill those Robs. They're good to do if you want, but you don't have to. Down smashes are best, and up smash. So again, run through, up B over this guy, go to the right, and enter the fight. The stage is fairly short, so I'm gonna pick Falcon and down smash all these guys. Falcon's down smash has a lot of range and is strong, so alternatively you can pick Donkey Kong and do down B. It works most of the time, sometimes it doesn't, so it's up to you. Up air these guys. That works best. Sometimes you get decent items like that, sometimes you don't. Smart bombs are good if you're not in them. Usually. A lot of these items are very conditional and then they're good, which is a little annoying, but it happens. Oh. These last three medals, just down smash them. And that's the stage. So the bulk of it is just the movement in the first part. So Glacial Peak coming up is probably the hardest stage movement-wise. This movement is optional. You can just jump regularly. I'm going to try and do the best movement. It is hard, like I mentioned, so if you want, you can just follow my movement. When I jump, when I do up Bs, a special property about Meta Knight's up B is when you kind of like land the initial like part on the stage, you cancel your lag. So it's kind of known as an up B cancel, like there and there. But again, that movement is very difficult. So if you can't do it, just jump up regularly and you'll totally be fine. In this whole area, you can up B to grab that ledge earlier and in the first room. Buffer and up B out of that room into here. You'll land on the platform and start the auto-scroller as fast as possible. So this is the longest auto-scroller in the game, which is fine. But again, for that first room, slower movement is totally okay. Fast movement is difficult, and it takes a little bit of practice. So if you don't get it, that's cool. Just do whatever works for you. But yeah, for this area, you can do whatever you want, really. I don't really recommend dying, as you want to be Meta Knight, but if you are Ices, just SD again, then pick Meta Knight, or get Meta Knight. So when you think the auto-scroller is done, it's not. There's a lot more. About 2/3 done with this. This is a very long auto-scroller and it's not too fun. The higher difficulties do make the auto-scrollers faster, however they also heavily increase enemy health and damage that they do, so if you're playing a higher difficulty, keep that in mind. Once you're up at this point, when you can see the second platform, you can jump all the way up and hold up and you'll get in the door. Here again, hold jump, press A to launch. Just copy my movement here. This movement's a little weird. Just don't get hit. The way I did it, I didn't really go around the places that well, so don't actually copy that movement, but just make your way through that area. This fight's annoying because there's 6 of these guys, and they're inconsistent on when you can actually hit them. But once they're gone, 2 Glaces will spawn. If you have an item you can throw it to one side and dash attack the other. If not, you can just dash attack one of them. You can do more up Bs here. This movement's a little bit more tricky than the first one and it's a little less consistent, but if you want, you can. So now we're on the Lucario fight. You're going to want to pick Meta Knight, as always, and then get Lucario to the right side as fast as possible. And once he's there, this is very inconsistent. Down smash him, he won't tech, keep following him with down smashes, and then just hit him off stage. I'll die. So that fight is hard. Lucario's AI likes to go wherever it feels like. Sometimes it'll jump over you, you'll hit down smash the wrong way, so just keep with it, and just try your best. So for Canyon, this whole stage is just one fight. Pick Yoshi, because Yoshi's best at the fights. So again, as you have been, just up smash and up air all the enemies. This is definitely a fight that takes practice. It is not exactly a hard fight, but it's you kind of want to know when each enemy spawns. So kind of like during the breaks, some giant Primids spawn. Now some fire ones will. I got Curry. That's not that good because it pushes the enemies away from where I want them. But there is an exception with this part. With these gliders, having Curry is actually really helpful because you'll hit them and you'll just send them to the middle where they die. Also, these gliders, you do not have to kill all of them. When they go off stage, they are dead. Usually there's going to be one extra like that. So then you're going to want to down air this row turret, and then up smash the last giant Primids. Sometimes they'll drop a super mushroom, just like that, which is really helpful because super mushrooms give you a lot more power. And sometimes if you hit the giant Primid, they will fall in the middle, like that. So again, that stage is just one big fight. Work your way through it, and you'll be good. So finally, we get to see Snake. However, he's really not that good. Snake's best form of movement is dash attack. So for the whole segment that you're going to be Snake, you're going to want to dash attack. It's still slow, but it's better than just running. So unfortunately, got that. Alright. Snake's vertical height, or vertical jump is also very, very bad, so try not to fall. And then just dash attack your way to the door. And now we're back to Meta Knight, as always. So in this section, we're going to want to tornado over to the right. And this area, we need to destroy 3 generators and then hit the buttons. So neutral air kind of shreds generators. So we're going to do that. Fortunately, fire flowers don't. If you can do a shuttle loop into that button, cancel it on the platform, then get over here. If not, you can just use up air. That's fine. Same with this one, you can use shuttle loop, but it's actually better to use another move, just because you don't really have a place to cancel the shuttle loop. So off the ladder, go left. And in this fight, this is kind of strange because we're going to want to prioritize actually knocking the enemies off the stage if possible, as opposed to straight up killing them. Because as I mentioned a while ago, the beam sword Primids have a lot more health. So if you can knock them off the stage, it's faster than killing them. For the rest of the enemies, just neutral air them. They'll die quick enough. For this dark room, just tornado. And then tornado through these last ones so they don't get hit. And then this area, we need to kill 5 enemies. So the first one, gonna do a down air into. Sometimes, if you're lucky, the bomb will actually hit the enemy and kill him. Sometimes not. For this Primid, we're gonna dash attack into down air. If we are very lucky, we can actually hit the 3rd enemy. Doesn't really happen often, but sometimes it does. Yeah, that didn't. So that spinner would have gotten hit by the Primid. With this metal Primid, we can hit him through the wall. So you can hold into the wall, down smash when it gets really close, and it'll hit him. And you need to do 2 down smashes to finish him off. So here we're going to neutral air twice, end that fight. Fall with a neutral air, and then down smash for the end of this guy. And then we're done. That's all 5. So, similar to the Lucario fight, now we're going to have Dark Peach and Dark Zelda. The strategy for these is get lucky, first of all. This fight is not the most consistent, but again, similar to Lucario, just try and down smash and just knock him off to the side. So like that. Down smash has a lot of knockback, so if you can, use it. Forward air is also pretty okay to get them to the side in the first place. But that fight is difficult, and it likes to lose a lot of time depending on what the AI does. Going into Exterior, we're going to meet Sheik for the first time, even though we've already used her, and just run to the right and platform. This platforming is especially hard because we have wind going against us, so it's not fun, it's slow. Some of the platforming is a little awkward just because you barely don't have enough distance or you have just too much, so just be wary of that and try not to die because Peach is not good either. This area, just go through, try and follow my movement here, jump over the bombs if possible. Yeah, that was a little awkward. What I meant to do was actually jump over all the bombs and fall through that platform to hit the button, but didn't, so hit the button, go through the door, then run to the right here, see all the enemies, and start this next fight. So this fight, it's going to be 2 sets of gunners on either side. We're going to want to up smash them and up smash the other Primids. Sheik's up smash is very good. Sometimes if you're lucky, the Primids will go into other Primids to hit them. Not always. Creep, forward air, neutral air, just like you did earlier. And then for these puppets, just neutral air. If you hit it right on them, they will die in 1 hit. If you do a forward air or something, they won't, so try and get a neutral air out. For this section, this creep is a little annoying sometimes, he likes to hit you. This fire has a very low cooldown on when it can hit you, so try and make your way through it. It's totally okay to take damage to it, and like try and get damage boost if you want. But be careful of the camera, because if you go... I got caught by that. If you go too far off before you like touch the ground again, you'll die. So unfortunately, I got squashed. I thought the cycle was different, but you want to go through the door and then just make your way through this part. This is actually the same path I'd be taking if I was Sheik. So, it's not that much different. And that's Battleship Exterior. But yeah, the general movement there is to just use your upbeat into the platforms and everything. So, for Halberd Bridge, the first thing I'm going to do, pick Snake, and I'm going to do a Dacus. If you do not know what a Dacus is, that's okay. If you want to learn, there are resources online. It is optional, saves a little bit of time, but what it does is I'm going to basically slide towards the boss and hit him with an up smash, and it'll do a little more damage, but other than that, I'm just going to use F-tilt and Dacus again when the boss is too far. So you'll probably be able to see my inputs. What I'm going to do for Dacus is hold right, and then hit down on the C-stick, and then hold up, and then press Z. A little confusing, but there are guides, like I mentioned. Actually, I missed it there. Okay. So what the intended result was to slide with an up smash like that. So Duon is a very annoying boss because he has a lot of hits that can hit you like very easily, and he likes to move around a lot. I'm getting hit a lot in this fight. But for the most part, we're just going to want a Dacus just to get a lot of extra movement. Forward air if you get hit, and then F-tilt. For that spinning move, you're going to want to shield late into the move, because if you shield the entire thing, your shield will get broken, and that wastes a lot of time. So get hit by it a little bit, and then start shielding. So this upcoming stage, Subspace Bomb Factory 2, is probably one of the shortest segments. It's usually long, but the route is good. So I'm gonna pick Samus here because she's a little more consistent than Pikachu. Both characters are good here, though. Jump over these robs, and then go down 4 on the elevator. Run to the right. You do not have to worry about these bombs. They will not hit you. Up 1, and then run to the right again. So this basically brings us to the end of the level. Jump over this first rob, jump again, air dodge, or take the hit. Alright. What I'm going to do is do back airs here, and then forward smash for the rest of the robs. This fight's pretty easy in that they die in 1 hit. And that's the entire level. So forward smashing and doing a back air on those robs will kill them right away, and there's just a couple more waves and then you'll be done. So coming up is probably the hardest stage. I've already said that 3 times, but this is actually it. This stage, Subspace Bomb Factory, is very, very hard to do well. Very hard to do at all. So we're going to pick Captain Falcon first, then go over 1 to Diddy Kong, because Olimar is extremely bad, and then pick DK. So what I'm going to do is just run to the right here, jump over this first guy because it hit me, then jump up. Try not to get hit. For this area, you can go through the blocks, or you can jump, wall jump, jump again to get on top of the blocks. Jump over to the next set of blocks, and then just jump over all the way to the next section. Hit this bomb block. You might have to use your up B to get up here, and then start this fight. So these robs are weak to your aerials, so use up air or back air, and they should die right away. For these last ones, I recommend down smashing. They are difficult and a little inconsistent, so just try your best. It is very, very important to not die with Captain Falcon. He is very, very good in this stage. Diddy is also okay, but Falcon is leagues better. Even so, it's not Olimar. Olimar is very, very bad. So you can kind of go a little bit ahead of the camera into this door here. Sometimes you'll die, so try not to do it all the time. For this next room, jump on the conveyors, run to the right. You're going to need to shield on these spikes that fall, and then up air these blocks. Hit the switch, and then get down fast enough. It really shouldn't be a big deal if you hit him in a pattern like that. This section, it is very hard to recover if you fall, so try not to fall off these conveyors. Jump early if you have to, you'll definitely make it. Hit the switch, go back, go to this fight, down smash these enemies that show up, and hit the last switch. If you want to, you can get that extra life that dropped on the last fight. This room is the fire room. Just make your way through it. And there's a pretty cool damage boost that I might be able to pull off here. It is difficult. So what I'm going to do is hit the fire, then roll into the sled. Doing that will push me through all of these fires while being in iframes, so I don't actually have to hit the button. Like that. So actually what happened there is the camera did not follow me. If that happens, you will need to jump out of the sled so you don't die. If you don't jump, you'll basically die instantly, and you'll have to be Diddy for this next part. So if you jump out, you can shield and be safe. For this fight, down smash. Try not to die like that. Down smash and up air is good. This whole section was a little slow. This guy's gonna get squished. But ideally, this won't be closed, so you won't have to wait for it. So you can just wall jump here. Get on the ladders. If you are Falcon, I recommend doing a Falcon kick here. If not, you can just do down smash, get to the key. It's on the very leftmost block, and run to the right and start this fight. So this fight is also very difficult. Pick Falcon. The rest is up to you. If you're starting out, I recommend picking DK next because he's also very good in fights. If not, you can just mash. These birds you're going to want to up air because it kills them right away. When these birds are stuck in the ground, you can grab them. When they're in their like crouching animation like that, you can grab them and throw them. They're not that useful, but it's good to know. Down smashes as you have been. And that should get through all of these guys. Again, for these, just down smash. Sometimes they'll grow, like no matter how fast you are, which is a little annoying, but so after this last one spawns, when there are 3 like little ticks left on the left, when you kill this one, the next enemy that'll spawn is a tank. This tank's properties is it's weak in the center until it's closed. When it's closed, you can't do damage to it. So what you're going to try and do is, right when the tank spawns, you're going to up air it. The up air hitbox hits the tank before it even has a chance to close. If you do that a couple times, it'll die before it like goes through its whole cycle. That's called a tank quick kill. So doing the tank quick kills saves a fair bit of time over not doing them, because if you don't, they have a lot of extra moves that they do, so I'll try and show that off. Try and do this if you can. If not, you'll have to wait a little bit longer, but it's still not that bad. Like that, I'm just going to hit him 3 times before he even has a chance to close. Same with this one. Almost got him. So what he does, he's just going to stick out a little arm here. Eventually. Hit the arm with whatever, and then just hit him again. So yeah, those tank quick kills are very helpful. And if you can do them, I recommend them. Sometimes the Primate won't be in a good spot for you to do it. If not, that's okay. Try and at least get it on the second one if possible. And then for this escape sequence, pick Falcon, just because he's the fastest faller out of the bunch. This whole section is an auto-scroller, so don't worry about it too much if you die at all. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a little helpful to have Falcon. Just try not to get Olimar. Again, try not to go too far ahead of the camera because the blast zones are sort of small and you can die pretty quickly. But other than that, you can kind of just make your way through it, hang out for a little bit. The hardest part of this stage is over, so relax. So up here, I'm going to want to go towards the right side of the stage. And as I mentioned earlier, because we're playing on 16:9 mode, I can use a visual cue. 4:3 does not seem to use this visual cue. I tried it and I died, so I'm not really sure. So I'm going to roll to the edge on the right here. And once the spikes close, and they close completely, I'm going to fall off and just keep falling. So right there, I'm just going to fall off. That's when the camera unlocks and you can go. Fall off, passing all of those platforms, and then grabbing onto the ledge to get to this area. So again, you're going to fall, try and air dodge through them, trying to get hit. If you're at a high percent, you'll die. So trying to get hit by the bombs, air dodge through them, and then just move on to the next auto-scroller. And there's a heart here if you really need health. You shouldn't, but there's not much more left in the stage, so don't really worry about it. So for this next part, there is another visual cue I like to use. Kind of when it like hits the center, like that. Just jump down and go up through the door. If you're still Falcon, you can Falcon kick to go a little faster, and that's it. starting the Meta Ridley fight, just pick DK and try to up air or up smash the boss. If you happen to die with Donkey Kong, you have Falcon second, so just use knee. If you die with Falcon, just try your best. You can charge up smashes in between phases. Meta Ridley's moves are very telegraphed. This one is annoying. If you hit him while he's in that move before you get hit, he'll end the move. But sometimes, if you're not close enough, it's just too risky, so if you want to play safe, don't contest it. If you don't, or if you are confident in it, just don't. You'll be fine. So now that we're done with that, we can move into Entrance to Subspace. We have the pick of every character we've picked so far, so of course we pick Meta Knight. Right away, just run to the right, jump a couple times off the ledge, tornado over to this first fight. You're going to want to get in between the second and third Primids to down smash them, and then neutral air these guys. If you do it correctly, they'll all die. The last Primid won't die immediately, but will after you neutral air, so that'll be that. Something to note, you can skip this fight. However, if you keep progressing, you will die, and you won't actually have, like, skipped the auto-scroller. So it is not... It is skippable in a sense that you can fly over it, however, you cannot progress. So do the fight, you need to. If you kill these generators, sometimes they spawn an extra Primid like that. A little funny. Generators are in fact a suggestion. Kill the Primids if you want, don't have to. And then just get ready at the edge of this platform. So up here, 3 generators are going to spawn, so we're just going to down smash to hit both the left and center ones a couple times so they both disappear. Then count from underneath and neutral air this one twice for it to go. So coming up next is a skip. What I'm going to do is glide over 3 fights in a row, jump 3 times, up B, and then go down. You want to go into the last zone and get a good amount of height. Do 2 like pumps, and then start gliding. So sometimes if you don't have like a good angle, you'll just die off the top, even if it looks like you're not close to it. So what I do is kind of like fidget up and down just to make sure that I'm okay. And then that's the whole thing. Subspace 1 is a lot of vertical platforming. Picking Ness is the best for this area. The first section we're going to want to go right, do a double jump over these glaces, and then just jump through the rest. Here I'm going to do this a little quickly. If you double jump fast enough, you can catch that platform. Just watch out for that enemy that might throw a rock at you and screw you up. But just make your way through that room however you want. Come on. Alright, so these yellow platforms spawn more platforms. And if you don't go through them fast enough, they'll despawn. So, on that spring, do a forward air to hit the bomb block, pick up Pokemon Trainer, then walk out. We are only going to be picking up 4 characters total in each of the subspaces. Yeah. So just make your way through, avoid anyone, pick up Marth. Marth is actually not going to be used, but he's used just for menuing purposes. So again, run through the whole stage. You can break those blocks or go over them, up to you. This next section, if you watch runs of this game, you'll often see runners just going off screen, picking up a trophy, then going into the door. It's a little unsafe to do this, because if you get hit, you'll die. So I'll take it a little slow. We're going to pick up Captain Falcon. I rolled into him, alright. So Falcon is usually here. Pick him up, drop down, go right into the door. Jump on the platform, and then finish up. And again, only pick up Pokemon Trainer, Falcon, and Marth. They're important for either maze or menuing purposes. Skip this cutscene. Now we're going to be D to D. We're going to roll to the left and just wait for Bowser to come over. Sometimes he'll come quick, sometimes he'll take a day. It's just RNG, AI stuff, so this is particularly bad though. There you go. Almost. Alright. If you die, it's okay. If you do not have an extra stock, like on the left, there's that smash ball. If there are none, you cannot DDD side. If you do, you'll get a game over and need to restart. So if that happens, you'll need to kill Bowser a conventional way and not die doing it. But most of the time, you'll just be okay on the first one, and shouldn't die multiple times. Subspace 2 is a lot of auto-scrollers and fights. So Kirby, jump up, up B is important to clear out these bombs. The next set of bombs you're going to want to run and shield into, just to make them explode. Next part, same here. You're going to want to try and shield those, get Meta Knight, and then air dodge out through the bombs. If you do it fast enough, you can get through them. If not, you'll get hit. That's fine. This next section is we're going to be falling. There's going to be 3 layers or so. So for the first one, I'm going to move to the left a little bit and then down air to hit the first block. Alternatively, you can use your down B or stone to do that. Same with the second one. And then here, on the third one, there's actually an enemy waiting right below me. So if I was to go down air, I would get hit. So I'm going to jump up to right where this block is, and then just down B. So I don't get hit, and we'll be okay. This fight, up smashes and forward smashes are your friend, as always with Kirby. And that'll be that. Sometimes an extra life spawns here. Take it if you need it. Probably shouldn't, because this section is fairly easy. If you really want to, you can SD just to heal. Not important, but if you want, go ahead. So this whole auto-scroller is fairly slow, but we're almost at the end. So for this fight, we're going to want to go towards the center and forward smash the auto lance that's going to spawn in the middle. Prioritizing this guy is important because if you don't, he'll hit you a lot, and that's pretty annoying. So for the rest of the fight, just try and get these primates off of the ledges using a forward air or a back air. Technique I've been using a lot is a reverse aerial rush. So I can briefly explain that. It's when you're running, you go the other direction and then jump, and then do an attack in that way. You kind of like, you're able to do like a back air while moving forward still. And it's very beneficial in a lot of situations, so I recommend learning it if you don't already know, and using it. So here, you can just run off to the sled. When you jump afterwards, you get a bit of momentum. Try that. When you reach this one, you're going to up smash the trackball, so the Ticken falls and dies. Run past it. Run through all the enemies, they probably won't hurt you, and then just jump to the end. So coming up here is a fight. So I'm going to land on the ground, then hammer this totem pole on the right. Jump around the Ticken so it doesn't hit you. Sometimes it will. And then the 3 more that spawn here, just hit them with 1 hammer and you'll be good. And that is the end of Subspace as a whole. And next we go into the Great Maze. So if you have ever played this casually, you've very likely had issues with it. It's hard, and it takes a long time to learn and get even decent at, so don't feel discouraged if it doesn't go well at first. I'm gonna offer backups throughout the entire thing, best practices, and ways to kill all the fights. So, by picking up Falcon and Marth, when the cursor starts at Kirby, Meta Knight is one hit away, or one to the left. So we're gonna pick Meta Knight, and starting out, I recommend picking Falcon, then Marth, then whoever you want. Kirby sometimes works, because if you die with Meta Knight, Falcon still has good mobility and is able to finish the fights, so I do recommend that. If not, you can just mash through after picking Meta Knight. Then you get Charizard, DD, and Kirby. I'm gonna do that. Right away, we're gonna go into this door. The first fight is PD Piranha, down smash, and then just nair him. You can get those 2 down smashes out free. Similar to the fight all the way back a while ago, try and prioritize the cage. It does not matter which one you hit. I do the left just out of comfort, but doesn't matter. If you go through this door, there are multiple of these throughout all of Great Maze. So this, if you stand on this, you are given the option to save, pick your characters, warp when you unlock the other ones, or go back to map. So if you are to die, or you need to heal, so say you need to heal, you'll enter the door, hop up here, exit immediately, and go through the door, get on your way. If you need to change characters, you'll hop up here, character selection, repick your characters, and then you'll spawn here, and then hold up right, and you'll go through the door. So during the run, or during Maze, I will point out where the doors are in case you need them as a backup, if you die anywhere or need to heal. So we're going to go through this door, hold left, and get ready to tornado. It's not required to tornado, but it's fastest. And now we get on the first real fight, which is Pit. So the best practice for all of these fights is to kill the enemies with an up B, beginning of an up B, or a shuttle loop. There are a lot of things you can use to combo into it. Sometimes the characters or the fights won't work out that well. So the general way is to do a dash attack into up B. Alternatively, you can do up tilt into up B, forward throw into up B, and there are a lot of other combos, but prioritize getting that up B out. So here, I can do a dash attack into up B. Sometimes they don't die. There, I'll just hit him again. Try not to go too far off stage, because if you miss, you'll probably end up dying, and it's not good. After Pit, just go right back through the door, and you spawn over here. If you want, you can glide to the next section, or you can run. It's up to you. Gliding kind of gets you through all the stuff faster, so you have to avoid, and you get to avoid it. Going to Kirby, I recommend tornadoing through this creep here. It's just helpful. And for Kirby, what we're going to do, Kirby's going to jump at us, going to down smash him, and then follow up with an up B. So that is very consistent. Majority of the time, Kirby will jump at you, and then you can just hit him with down smash, follow up with an up B, and he'll die right away. So out of here, I usually tornado, but the creep was in a weird spot, so I didn't. Trying to get hit by these thunders. You can up B, kind of finish it up. Link, I recommend holding right, dash attack, up B'ing. Most of the time it'll work. This is one of the fastest fights, so. Here you can glide. This is your first spot to heal or change characters. You'll probably never have to use it, but just in case you can, go in here. These ones, you cannot warp anywhere. There are, I believe, 4 or 5 of these places where you can't warp, and 4 or 5 of the ones that you can. But you still can heal and change characters here. And for the rest of them, I'll just point them out. So we're going to want to go through this first yellow door, hit the bomb. I'm going to glide through this section. You don't have to. You can run or tornado through. go through the second blue door, hit these blocks to the right. I'm going to tornado, because that works best for me. You can also do a forward air, or just hit ones that'll make a path through. Go back through the yellow door, and this area will be clear. And you'll kind of repeat that for the next section. For these blocks, I'm going to go into the wall and then down smash. It'll cancel the rest of it, and then you're able to just fall to the next one. So do that twice, back through the door, hit the bomb, back through the door again, and next we're going to get to Yoshi fight. So sort of similar to the Kirby fight, Yoshi's going to jump at us. We're going to turn around and up B out of the jump, and then he'll not be able to jump again and just fall to his death. This is also the case with Ness and potentially Lucas, depending on RNG. If you hit them after their double jump, they can't jump again, so you can just gimp them. Alright, so moving on to the next part, we're going to want to go back through the door, tornado over to this door. This whole section you can tornado over up until the spring on the ground, jump on the spring, and glide over the rest. The Diddy Kong fight coming up is kind of difficult. It's a little weird. Just in like how you spawn and where Diddy is, it kind of takes some time. Alternatively, you can do a side B. I believe that gives a lot of knockback as well, but I still recommend doing up B. So, no matter where you are, if you need to heal, or you need to pick characters or not, go through this door. If you need to heal or change characters, go ahead and do that. If not, leave through this door right away. You need to go through this door, it'll be used later. So run to the right and enter this next stage, run to the right again and start falling. You can air dodge around these bombs if you want. I don't think you have to, but do it. Captain Falcon is kind of heavy, so he might not die right away. Like I mentioned a while ago, characters like to jump after getting hit. You can anticipate this and use a shuttle loop, so try that. This next section we're going to want to tornado through. Try and avoid the bombs if you can. If not, that's okay. If you take damage here, that's also okay. It's not really a big deal. The Olimar fight is a little annoying. Thankfully, his recovery is very, very bad. So if you just hit him, it's okay. Right. So that's actually okay that I died. It's not that good, but Charizard's options is up B. He'll just send him right out of the top. So the reason why we went into that door is because we're gonna actually reset. So quit the game. You don't have to save. You probably shouldn't because it wastes a little time. When you go back here and hit continue, your most recent save will be here, so that's okay. You're not going to lose any progress. Hit that, load data, and then go into the top right dot in the Great Maze. If you do not have this option, you did not go through the door, and that wasn't good. So you'll have to go through the entire thing again. If you remember when you're on Olimar that you didn't go through the door, you can backtrack. It is slower, but it is an option, and it's faster than going all the way back through here. So pick easy again. Pick Pokemon Trainer first, followed by Meta Knight, and I recommend Falcon then Marth. So we're going to pick Charizard here, because the next fight is a boss. And like I said earlier, Charizard shreds bosses. Just use Side B. If you can, avoid his attacks. It does not matter if you take damage here, as long as you don't die. And then take a lot of damage with Meta Knight. That's fine. That's the fight. When fights are over, you can't actually die, so can't do that. We're going to SD with Charizard, because he's not good, except for bosses. And now we're Meta Knight. Gonna want to go through this whole section. Watch out for that guy, he might shoot you. Tornado over to the side. You might get hit. Snake is similar to Falcon. He's kind of heavy and doesn't like to die right away, so... up air also combos into up B very well. If you hit Snake out of his up B, it is helpful. You might get hit, but he'll probably die. So try that if you can. Make your way back up to where you came from. And then go through the middle down here. Off to the right is another door. Go down, actually, here is the place where you can heal / change characters. You can go here now or after the next fight, up to you if you need it. I don't recommend healing if you're at like 10% or whatever. Go down here, get the key. Now you can go either up back where you came from or down. Down is a little better because you don't really have to mash a lot with Tornado. Go through those guys and then do that. Down smash on that. Bomb, forward air that as you're falling. And then start the Game & Watch fight. So again, all of these fights you'll need to adapt to because some are really easy, some are hard. It just depends on what AI you get. So again, you can heal there if you need to. You might get hit on this ladder climb. Sometimes not. Up B, cancel into the door. A little faster. You can glide through this whole section. It is a lot faster than jumping and walking. And then the Meta Knight fight. Meta Knight fight is actually pretty good. It's fairly smart with what it hits you with, but sometimes it's not. So kind of just best guess. Here I recommend gliding no matter what. I meant to up B out of that, but I got a jump glide instead. But go under this row turret, gain a lot of speed, and then just glide all the way to the end into Ness. So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to try and hit Ness out of the jump. Just like that. You can grab the ledge, but a majority of the time Ness won't be able to recover properly, so you've basically finished the fight by then. Go back to where we came from, Tornado for speed and height. Go down through this door to enter the next stretch. You can do a couple moves to hit through these boxes, whichever works. Down air, down smash, neutral air, whatever. Up here is the next chance to get. You can actually hit that button with a back air, and you can enter the heal. And you can hit that button with a back air as well. So you don't have to go all the way around, you can just get there when you're, you can just go there straight through. And then tornadoing just for movement is always good. I'm gonna try gliding through here. I'm kind of inconsistent at it, but you can glide through here. It is hard, but it is a lot faster. And I stress that you try not to take damage here. Taking damage from Ness to Porky is very important to not happen because Porky has a lot of tools that he can use to just destroy you. So it's a matter of try not to get hit on Porky and try not to get hit before Porky. Down smashes are best for that fight. Of course he's going to drop a super mushroom afterwards, but just down smash and try and stay alive. So glide through the rest of this. If you're at anywhere above like 60%, I recommend healing. You don't have to if you want to be risky, but it's always good. Just to be safe, you'll lose a little bit of time, but it's a lot better than dying. So the next area is more wind physics. Jump twice and then just glide through. And gain a lot of speed on the wind. And then go into DK. DK fight's a little annoying. There are a lot of things you can do. What I tried there is just laddering him off the top. That works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. Here I'm just going to try and stop him. Yeah. Sometimes you might hit him and it'll come back and he'll recover, and it's kind of weird. So after this, just run right back through the door. You can actually fall off to the left here into the wind to start Samus fight. It's faster than going through the blocks. Samus is an easy fight, usually. Bumpers. Not seen one of these yet. Bumpers are extremely good in maze fights if you can't kill someone. If you throw it against them, they will basically die every time. So if you're having trouble killing an enemy and get a bumper, I recommend using it. Tornado through here because that first beam sword guy will almost always hit you. And then tornado here just for faster movement. Pikachu is similar to Kirby. A majority of the time you can just down smash into up B. Sometimes not. But again, adaptation, extremely important in all of Maze. Knowing what you can do versus what you have done and what the AI is going to do is extremely important to have effective fights. So it'll take time to learn. So if you need to, again, there is a chance to heal here. You won't be able to warp, but you won't need to. So you can heal there if you want. This next section, we're going to be hitting a couple switches. First one's right next to you. Next part, just tornado through. Try not to get hit by that guy, but just jump up the conveyors. You can hit this switch now or after the next fight. The next fight being Rob. If you don't trip like I did, actually can kill Rob in one shuttle loop. Rob is, for some reason, very, very light and likes to just die instantly. This property is odd because Rob is normally a heavy in the game, so I don't really know. It's also shared with DDD. DDD likes to die very quickly to shuttle loop, so I'm not exactly sure what causes it, but it's very good to know that you can kill them very quickly. So after that, run to the left and go to the next door. Tornado over those guys. You can hit this switch through from the bottom with up air. I believe a lot of characters can as well. If not, there's a key at the end of the walkway. Starting the Ridley fight, neutral air. This fight is a lot faster than Research 2. I'm gonna die here. Yeah, I'm dead. As I mentioned a while ago, getting launchers is still really, really good on bosses. So if you can do that, launchers are the best DPS you can do against a boss. I recommend it. Here, conveniently, is a warp zone, but you're not going to have to warp at all until all the way at the end, so after this, if you need to heal, you can just walk off and do a forward air, so you don't have to hit the gas. If not, you can still walk off forward air, you just have to avoid some of these platforms. Not taking damage in the next part is difficult, but important, because you can rack up a lot of damage. But if you follow this movement, you should be pretty safe. Up airing or forward airing those buttons is good. Then tornadoing over the top of all these is helpful. Bowser is sort of light, but like not really. He's one of the weird ones as well. A lot of the time you can just contest their recoveries like that. So then we're done. Back through this area. Tornado over all of the fire again. If you are playing on a higher difficulty, These fire cycles will be different. The fire will spawn a lot faster. So just be mindful of that, and you might have to hit buttons more frequently. Through this door we have another minecart. This little auto-scrollery section here. Very, very similar to Battlefield Fortress. Like I mentioned earlier, DDD is light. However, DDD can kill you very quickly. If you're at a high percent and you get hit basically once from DDD, you're dead. At 35, I'd be safe, but if I was at like 130, it would be very dangerous. So tornadoing through there and then just holding down on the ledge will let you not get hit by that second spinner. If you get hit by that second spinner and get stage spiked, you might die even at like 0%, just because of fixed knockback. So be careful of that and try not to get hit. If you need to heal, this room has 200% of health. So sometimes if you are confident that you won't get hit after, or you won't take enough damage between Ridley and Falco, you can heal after Falco. So again, cannons, similar to Swamp. You can jump out of that sled earlier to start the fox fight. Fox is not cooperating that well. Sometimes you might need to follow their DI to get the Battle Loop off, so just be careful for that. I like to mash jump here so I don't go into tumble at all, and then just go into a glide for this whole next section. By mashing jump, I don't kind of just start the jumping right away, and you don't have to wait. If you tech that, be careful on jumping over the cart, or else you get stuck in it. Better Ridley, as all the bosses, just neutral air. It's a very quick fight, if you get decent RNG at least. That move you just did can do a lot of percent at once, so just be mindful. And that's better Ridley. We're going to go back to the same spot that we were at for Ridley, so if you need to heal, go ahead. Or change characters. Go over the gap this time into the Mario fight. Mario fight's a little annoying sometimes. Also, in a case like that, if you do like a reverse shuttle loop, sometimes the direction they get sent in is different, so sometimes you might get lucky like that. Shuttle looping up to these ledges is good, so you can grab them quicker. This section is the hardest in Maze, in my opinion. These next couple rooms. So this room I like to just jump right out of and start gliding, so I don't get caught by anyone. And just glide through this whole next section, trying to get hit by spikes. You might, it's alright. This room is probably the hardest. What I'm gonna do is go do a safe strat. Kill all the enemies here. All of them. If you want to go faster, and hit this trackball right away. And if you hit it in a manner where you can just jump out kind of like that right away, and you tornado through all the flows in the beginning, you will be completely safe and won't get hit. However, it is difficult. Also, if you don't hit the trackballs with enough force, they won't break. Alright, so now that that's over, we have Gallium. Gallium is an easy fight. We've already fought him with Meta Knight. Exact same strats we used earlier. Bob-ombs aren't really that good against bosses. In my opinion, they're okay, but they don't do really enough damage. Also, after a boss is defeated, you can't die, but you can still take damage, so be careful. Don't just run into bombs. Again, go through this door, even if you don't need to heal. We're going to be warping back here later. Twice, actually, so it's very important. Go down, through the door, and then go right. If you want, you can shield these spikes. They do a lot of damage, so be careful. Try and just tornado over to the next fight. Try not to take too much damage. It doesn't matter too much, but still a good practice to just not get hit as much as possible. The Zelda fight is sometimes very difficult. I got very lucky there in that the fight went well, but she likes to teleport around and just do weird stuff. Here, do a couple perfect shields on these electricity balls, and then I like to just glide over these next ones. You can jump over or tornado, but fighting is good. Same with the Peach fight. Peach can be a little bit difficult sometimes. That is also a combo. The second, or like the glide cancel hit into up B, so. Again, like after Olimar, we're going to quit here. Do not save progress because that wastes time. And then go into the bottom left Great Maze. Again, if you don't have this unlocked, you messed up somewhere. We're going to go down again. If you have perfect movement coming back from Peach, you can save a fraction of, like, not a lot of time, but it is not recommended because resetting gives you a heal, and it's just helpful overall. So always reset. Don't rely on having good movement because you probably will get hit. And going through that door resets the cycle on those blocks, so you always get the cycle I just got. Charizard, just hit him. He's also one of like the lighter heavies for some reason. This room, the optimal strat is to jump over that and then just tornado across to the rest. You can just walk over, jump over slowly if you want, that's fine. Go up one and then go over to the left. Try not to get hit by any of the flows because they do a lot of damage really quick. The Wario fight is a little difficult sometimes. A lot of the times, if there's a platform in the way and you hit them to the platform, they won't tech, so you can just hit them out of that, which is nice. Again, top of elevator is faster by a little bit. You can tornado over to the third hole. If you go down the others, you'll die. Luigi fight, very straightforward, there's no platforms to worry about, and Luigi's recovery is awful, so if you hit him off stage, he's basically dead. Try not to be Charizard for this next point, because it makes this whole part really difficult. This climb is very, very hard if you Charizard. Even if you're DD, it's hard, so just try and be Meta Knight here. If you're not feeling confident, just heal. But just climb up here, hit the bombs. Always be mindful of how many jumps you have. Meta Knight has 6 jumps, so if you need to, you can count out the jumps. Rayquaza, you're going to want to try and like kind of get inside of them and then just down smash. Use Nairs in the meantime. But the fight is very easy. So here we're going to go warp. Optional, you can go through this area, but I recommend healing and warping. It's only one input up. You're going to want to go to this bottom left warp. So go through the door, then hold left, up 2, back over to the right. You can tornado over here for movement. Then we have the Lucas fight. If you can, try and hit him after the jump. Might not be able to always. Unlike Ness, Lucas is actually pretty okay at recovery, so just try and hit him out of the recovery or just before he gets a chance to at all. Now we're at the Glacial Peak section. This climb is identical to the one you did earlier. That's actually the correct movement this time. If you want to go for shuttle loop cancels, go ahead. If not, just jump up there. Okay. Lucario is also a light heavy. And then we're going to be back to the point we were at after Rayquaza, so just enter the door on the right, and then fall. There's going to be this ice block in the middle, so go a little bit to the right and then a little bit to the left, so you fall back in the middle. Enter this door for the ice climbers. For the ice climbers, you only have to KO the lead climber. So in this case, I KO'd the non-lead climber, so I need to still finish the other one. So the one that says CPU over its head, you need to kill. When you KO Nana, which is the non-lead one, it's very easy to KO Popo, which is the lead one. So just do that. This area you can glide or tornado or jump over. This area I recommend tornadoing just for movement. Start from this platform, do a couple jumps, up B into this trackball, and then just glide down to the Ike fight. Ike doesn't really know how to recover sometimes, so... Alright, I didn't get to see it, but sometimes he'll just fall and not even like try and recover, which is nice. So as long as you hit him off stage, again, you basically finish the fight. Careful of those spikes. Try not to get hit by that cannon. This is a place where you can heal. I recommend going in here, even if you're not healing, leave right away, because that resets this falling ceiling cycle. So you can just go through the door. This Primate will usually jump at you, so you can jump and air dodge around him. You don't need that key yet. I also recommend tornadoing up here, just to get through the mass of enemies so you don't actually have to kill all of them. And then you can just run for the rest. If the Armite throws his swords at you, you might get hit because you can't outrun them, so it's a little annoying. Marth is weird sometimes. Sometimes it's a very easy fight, sometimes he's jumping around everywhere and it's a little annoying, so just adapt, really. Go through this cannon because it's a lot faster than not. Again with the sled. Cancel your lag with a move or an air dodge, just so you don't go into tumble. Get the key and then tornado over the rest. And you're at the last fight in Maze. Ganondorf is sometimes bad, similar to Marth. He can hit really hard, so if you're at high percent, be very careful. And that is all of the fights for Great Maze. So next we have the final boss and the end of the run, Taboo. As mentioned many times before, Charizard is the best, followed by Meta Knight. I would recommend picking Falcon, then Marth. You probably won't get anyone past there, so just the rest, whatever. Taboo's moves are... he has a very good moveset. They're hard to deal with sometimes. It's going to take a lot of time to learn what each move does. Kind of hard to explain it. But just try and use Rock Smash with Charizard as much as possible. If you die, that's okay, because Meta Knight Snare is also really good. Charizard's Glide is not good. That's something to say. The timing ends on the final hit of Taboo. However, you still need your in-game time. So so that would be the end of RTA timing. Congrats, you're done with the run. If it is the first time you have finished a run of Subspace on your particular save, you will need to watch the credits, which does lose time on your in-game time. However, if you have already done a run, you can just mash through it, go through the end, and then save your game. So in this case, my in-game time would be at 2:30. Depends on where you are with your RTA time. Sometimes if your RTA time is about 15 seconds over a minute, you might get the lower minute. So for example, if my RTA time was 2:31:15, I might have gotten a 2:30 in-game. That's because when you exit to reset in Maze, you don't increment the in-game time, so it's beneficial. So you might get a little lower in-game time compared to your RTA. So that concludes the tutorial. Some other things to mention, I guess, are just kind of reiterating, Emulator is not legal. Mashing start and A at the same time is good for cutscenes and characters. That's really about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you on the leaderboard soon. This is a very fun game to run. It's not very difficult, in my opinion. There are some difficult skips, but after practice, they become very easy to learn, kind of second nature, and then you can just start seeing massive time saves. So again, thank you guys for watching. If there is something that you wanted to see answered that wasn't, feel free to contact me. In the description, I'm going to link to the Smash Speedrunning Discord. I highly recommend you join it to ask questions and get help from a lot of other runners. It's a great community, and hope to see you there. Thank you for watching.